I've been seeing this all around Astoria today. They're getting rid of the blue boxes. This is at least the fourth one I've seen that is slated for removal 2 days ago. Or maybe 1 day ago. I don't know what day it is, but November 17th has passed already. Now that's the end of an era, if these things all disappear. They even got rid of the ones out in front of the post office. I guess they really don't need them there, but still, I mean, if they can find a way to keep the lobby open 24/7. That's the thing about these boxes, these outdoor boxes, is they're available 24/7, unlike most post offices. But when they tightened up the slot to prevent you from fishing out envelopes with checks in them and all that, it became impossible to use these to mail a lot of things. So I don't know. See if I find any others. I spotted 3 in a row earlier out in front of the post office on Broadway. And I thought they were just getting rid of the ones outside of the post offices, but they're getting rid of the curbside ones too. And I have a special connection to blue mailboxes because they were at the heart of my livelihood for a number of years. Mailboxes made me a pretty good living for a while. Okay, well this one gets spared, at least for now. I remember the thing about that mail, what I was referring to was my mailbox locator website, which was the sequel, I guess you'd call it, to my payphone locator. And that's probably the best site I ever did in terms of, what do you call it, organic traffic, search engine optimization, all that buzzword claptrap. Because it got insane amount of traffic. You couldn't type USPS anything without landing on my website. USPS near me, USPS mailbox near me, USPS Dropbox, everything came together, and all that traffic was going to me for like 3 years, I think, maybe longer. It was insane. I had a friend who actually found it really irritating because it was tax time and he needed to find a place to mail his taxes, and he typed in USPS and his zip code, and he landed on my website, and he was like, oh, damn it. He felt like I got him, I caught him or something. Let me go over to Broadway and see the 3 in a row that are flagged for removal. So they call this the Steinway station, even though it's on Broadway and, 4 blocks from Steinway. But here you see the notes that these things, I don't think they actually got a reprieve or anything. Today's the 19th, so these officially should have been torpedoed a couple of days ago. And I'll bet you people are still putting mail in here. I will assume that they'll have the courtesy to empty these boxes and deliver the mail that's still in them. Another reason I still get perked up about the old mailbox site is that, for one thing, it was the first of its kind. It was the first website that listed every blue corner mailbox in the United States. In that sense, it was a sequel to the payphone site, because my payphone site was also the first of its kind. I don't really take a lot of pride in that because I just happened to be early on the internet for that. But the mailbox thing was different. Like, even the Postal Service wasn't doing it. And then you talk about keywords and stuff, like if in the search engine world, you buy a keyword to bring your business or your product or whatever, to bring it up higher on the search engine ranking. And USPS was like a golden keyword. It would have cost thousands of dollars, probably tens of thousands of dollars to get the kind of rankings I was getting. And it also paid pretty well on the ads. I had other sites like this. I had a weather site that was pretty good, and it was pretty popular, but it just never did much on ads. Just because I guess that's a lot of repeat visitors, and they just get blind to them. But the mailbox site, that was my prize for a long time. Now I can hardly stand to think about it, but I'm just reflecting on the olden days. So I guess these are going to be gone soon. Don't be putting your mail in any of these. I had something else to say about the mailbox site, but maybe I'll think of it later. I remember this post office itself came very close to closing altogether a few years ago. Maybe 5 or 6 years ago, maybe longer. But it got salvaged, it got saved. I just missed a classic shot. That woman walking away, she just put a piece of mail in that mailbox. I guess the notices are not being very effective. That's too bad. That would have been a classic shot, but I stopped recording because she was looking right at me as she turned the corner. I guess this one gets spared for now. And one last thing about that website it was the first of its kind, which was that's pretty hard. It's become harder and harder to accomplish that anymore. I mean, that's been true for a long time. But what was interesting was the way I got the data for that website. I didn't know it was out there. I would never have known it was out there. I just got an email out of nowhere from somebody who insisted on not being named, insisted on anonymity. And I held true to that promise to this day, but and by this day I don't even have any memory of who this person was. But he was a postal service insider of some sort. Not a real postal worker, but somehow he was connected to some agency, I suppose, that was connected to it. I don't know, but he knew about this, and he knew about my website, and he thought this was just the perfect match. He wanted to see me make the mailbox version of the payphone project. And that's exactly what I did. All because of some stranger, the kindness of a stranger. And by the way, this used to be a payphone. That's square. I have some pictures of people using this phone from, I forget when it went away. I think it was Verizon, but then it went to Van Wagner in the end. Okay, so it looks like they're getting rid of 2 of these, but leaving 1. And another last thing about the that website was, I had said that the Postal Service itself didn't even have a mailbox locator when I went out with mine. They did eventually do it. They deployed one like maybe 3 years later. And I was pretty nervous about it at the time. I figured they were just going to wipe me out of business. But I looked at how they did it, and I don't remember all the details now, but it was so bad. It was just, it's like they were trying to be as unusable and repellent as they could be. It was a really horrible site. I think that finally changed. I think the later one that I looked at, probably in the last few years, was quite a bit more professional. But I got a few more years out of my keyword domination on account of that. They didn't even their site. That stuff was impossible to find through search engines, and it was impossible to find on the site if you didn't know where it was. So we're going to lose not all of these, just 2 of them, but I guess Astoria is losing its mailboxes once and for all, and I'm sure other areas are too, but that's all for now.